far as property is
Heaps.
concerned, property
Yeah,
is
heaps.
just going off the charts still.
Everywhere across Australia. There was an article released this morning. The value across Australia of properties, the growth in March was the highest in 30 years. So, there's a lot of talk of how they can maybe slow the market down.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're talking about maybe implementing a lot of the tax benefits that investors get. They're talking about sort of taking those away from investors just to slow, because there's a big component of the market that are investors.
Right.
And they're very wary of first home buyers having the opportunity to secure property. And I know, speaking to a lot of buyers, particularly first home buyers, they're just really struggling to get into the market at the moment. They're getting absolutely blown out of the water. If it's a cash buyer or if it's a investor, someone that's ready to go finance-wise, they're just, and that's what's happening. It's not just Mildura, it's across Australia where there's people are coming in well above, what the current market value is. So hence the growth. So I guess that's for first home buyers. It's hard for them at the moment.
Oh yeah.
We mentioned it a month or so ago that they are battling. They're frustrated. Like, I've had one girl crying on the phone last week when I told her she bought a property. They're not expecting that. They're getting 6 or 7 no's. Sorry, you've missed out before they actually get to buy a property. Crazy times.
It is crazy times. And when they finally nail it, wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
exciting.
it is exciting. And that's
So
the bit I love
beautiful.
about my job is telling people that after that long search, it
yeah.
can be 2 years.
Yeah.
A year, and so it's exciting for them. But look, the market's been outstanding this year. Great for vendors, not so much for buyers. But it's something that is still continuing to happen. They're predicting it to happen, to continue for quite some time. But if the governments change their rules and regulations and banks do, then it might slow.
It's good that they are looking at that.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I mean, if it continues at this rapid growth, it'll just implode. So,
Oh wow. Yeah.
but who knows?
Who knows where it'll go?
We've just got to roll with the punches and keep getting out there and doing what we do.
Which brings us to today's topic. We're talking about getting yourself prepped, ready to go, so that there's no delay. You're not going to miss out because you haven't done your homework. And I guess I just want to do a disclaimer. We aren't, financial advisors, but this is just something that's a topic that comes up. Mark hears a lot about it all the time with people, where do I start, especially if it's a first home buyer.
I can't say to a vendor to consider someone's offer if they haven't got their finance in place.
Yes.
I wouldn't be doing my job.
That's
So
right.
I think that's the most important thing. We have a lot of buyers that are so keen to buy, which is great, and they're so keen to get their first home or whatever it is, but they're not quite ready. Great doing your homework, but they're trying to put offers in on properties when they're yet to actually get that
This is a thing,
that
isn't
tick
it?
from a bank. And it's funny when you talk about pre-approval at the moment. A lot of banks are sort of taking up to 6 or 7 weeks to get a pre-approval. So the frustration for a lot of buyers is real. And banks are slow, and not only is it taking them a long time to get pre-approval, but some instances that doesn't mean that they're going to get the loan. They go through that process, then they go and buy, put an offer in a house. And if you're in the wrong postcode or whatever it is, lender's mortgage insurance can knock it on the head still. So it's it's very unpredictable at the moment.
It is.
Until we get that letter saying you're unconditional from a bank, from their bank, it's very sort of unpredictable.
It's really, I think it's important to realise that it's not like it used to be prior to the pandemic. The banks are we're finding the process is a lot harder.
It's slower. And they want to know everything. Everything. And they'll check everything. They'll check absolutely everything. And so if you haven't done your due diligence as far as your finance goes, spoken to a professional, whether it's a broker or someone at a bank, and really given like I said, pre-approval doesn't mean a hell of a lot like it used to. But if you're not aware of what it's going to cost you, what money you're going to need down, so if you go and buy a house for 300, what's it going to cost you up front? What's it going to cost you? What money do you need? What have you got in your bank? What's your outlay to begin with? And what's it going to cost you? You want to make sure that you're still living within your means as well.
Absolutely. And what possibilities it is to have like a 90% loan or an 80% loan. You need to really find out these things, because it's not like, okay, I've got a deposit, all right, I'll put in an offer, I go and see a bank. It's really
Yeah, and you won't get a look in usually
No.
if you haven't at least got an understanding of what your banker is telling you can do. So
Yeah. You've got a really cool buyer's tips and checklist PDF. I'm just reading from this. It's really, really cool. If you want a copy of that, hit us up. But number one, have your finances in order early, which is what we just talked about.
And it's not even about whether you're going to buy the house. It's about, like I said, knowing where you're at.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could do that 12 months in advance, like just to know where you're at and to know that you have a chance of getting that.
Comfortably knowing that you can put an offer in and that if it is accepted, that you're good to go.
Yeah. Things like having a business or a job for more than 12 months and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, not changing your job.
That's right.
And going to a different industry as you're about to buy a house, things like that.
Keeping your credit cards clean, your bank accounts clean, all that sort of stuff.
Don't eat too much avocado.
And lattes. All right. And number two is engage a conveyancer or a lawyer. So this is cool. This is a good tip too, because these are the things that you need to know. It's not sort of afterwards. Let's prep it first.
Yeah. Section 32 is something that you need.
Yeah. Someone to go over that
I think
for
so.
you.
If you buy a property, usually I'll always say, have you got a solicitor or conveyancer? And in the email where we send them the contracts, we'll CC their solicitor into it.
Yeah, which is brilliant.
And it's peace of mind for the buyer, particularly first home buyers. Peace of mind that they've got the go ahead from their solicitor or conveyancer, a third party, separate, someone that understands law, because there are things in Section 32s like it's jargon, so it's a lot of stuff that will go straight over your head. But there's things to consider in that Section 32 that you don't know what you're looking for.
That's right.
So, and I like it when the solicitor gives them the nod, then it's good to go. You don't have to worry.
Exactly.
The buyer shouldn't have to worry.
Yeah.
The solicitor's given it the nod. Happy days. Everyone can just move forward and then go through that process of signing the contracts.
Perfect. Because I don't need to know all the stuff. I don't need, if I've got someone there to do it for me, awesome, because I don't, we have other stresses in life. We don't have to know everything. So it's really cool to get that done. Number three, check the title of your chosen property.
Yeah.
Why is this important?
Well, this is interesting because I went through a contract and I said, do you know what college lease is recently? Had no idea. And I guess you can understand that if you've never bought a home before. So there's two scenarios in Mildura. So college lease was a concept brought up by the Chafee brothers.
Yeah, right.
That in most blocks in Mildura, there'd be one title allocated to college lease. So if you're buying a college lease type property, you don't own the land. You only own what's on it. So therefore your value's a lot less.
Yeah.
So, but the reason they did that was they wanted to raise funds for back then, which was the agricultural school, which is now the high school or senior college.
Yes.
So the money. So basically, you buy that property. So it might have a house on it. You buy it at quite a low rate compared to freehold land because you're only buying what's on the actual property.
Yeah.
And you're paying a significant amount of money in lease fees each year. So sometimes it can be 5, 10, 15, 20 grand, depending on the perceived value of that property. So if it's a big commercial property in town, which there are plenty, you can pay up to 20 grand. Or you can pay, I know someone that recently bought a property and they paid $19,000 of fees each year.
Okay.
That money, all the money comes together and goes and gets distributed to all the schools in Mildura, which is a great concept.
It is a great concept.
And unless you own a really nice property that you prefer to be freehold.
Wow.
There's been a lot of people that have tried to...
Can I change them?
Change it? No. I think you can swap for the same value of property.
Oh.
But it comes down to most of the principals of the schools basically oversee college lease.
Yeah, okay.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, right. They don't lend. Those leases don't end.
No, they're 99-year leases. So
yeah.
My cousin from Melbourne's watching.
Hi, Tim.
Tim, yeah.
That's cool. We've got some good viewers.
Yeah, so that's interesting. You need to know your titles. You need to know, and it's a really simple thing. You look at the copy title on a Section 32. If it says estate fee simple, it means it's freehold land.
Okay.
It is that simple. So you just need to know that that's what you're buying.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, that's another question you could ask your conveyancer, or if you want to know what the chances are of, doing something with that property, go and see a town planner or something.
There's overlays, there's heaps of things.
There's lots
you
of
need
things
to know.
Consider. Yep. Okay, cool. And other things is like subdivision and all that sort of stuff, where there's opportunity to...
Easements.
all of that stuff. Okay, that was a good one. Number 4, carry out the necessary inspections. Yeah. Building inspections, in particular in Australia.
Pest inspections, particularly in Mildura.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You know, there's lots of termites in Mildura. So I think the majority of homes have had it, like in old Mildura, have had an infestation of some sort, you'll find, like a lot of them over the years. But you just want to make sure there's no live termites. And that's the thing. It's not, you can buy a house and you can put a termite clause in the contract, but if it's only for live termites, so they may have done a lot of damage in the house.
Yes.
So that's where your building inspector would come in,
right.
and they'll find old damage most likely.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that whatever you're buying is structurally in good nick. Understand when you're buying older property though, a building inspector will that report will be quite thick.
Yeah.
So if you're buying an older house that needs work, then okay, you've got to keep it. I think you got to be smart about what you're buying.
Yes, exactly.
Everyone's different. Not everyone wants a pest inspection. Not everyone wants a building inspection. It's up to the individual buyer, but I'd recommend at least a termite inspection.
I think for first home buyers, like, don't be scared about termite damage per se. Like, don't think, okay, it's got termite damage, we can't buy this house.
Yeah.
It's just weighing up how much it's going to cost to fix it, and that's the thing. So I do recall, like, when you're young, you don't know these things, but I think pretty much nearly every property in Mildura will have some kind of termite
I'll have
damage.
some. Oh my god, there's termites in a tree out the back. Fine, as long as
okay.
they're out there, that's cool.
That's right, exactly.
They're just everywhere.
Get pest control to fix that. All right, that's cool. And number 5, have your deposit ready. Like, yes, this is big because, and this is going back to actually number 1 and working out how much deposit you need, depending on your lender and how much what mortgage.
I think the important thing about that point is knowing when to pay it and where. So a lot of people, I think, again, first home buyers, they don't know whether it goes straight to the vendor or to their solicitor or to their bank. Yeah. But in Victoria, the rule is it's got to go into the agent's trust account. So if I'm selling the house, once the contracts are signed, we'll give them our trust account details.
Yep.
And we give them maybe 2 or 3 business days to sort that, understanding that money might have to be moved from here and everywhere. Give them a few days. The deposit will then go into our trust account. And it's a law that has to go into our trust account and sits there until it's requested by the vendor's solicitor.
Yes.
So that's how it works. So it comes to us, it sits in trust until we're told to release it to the vendor solicitor.
Okay, this is cool. And
so then usually what will happen is we'll provide a receipt to the purchaser. They'll show that to the bank. The bank will see that there's been money transferred into the trust account, and they'll make those adjustments with when they're doing the final settlement figures, etc., etc.
Perfect, excellent. And at auction, you need to pay a 10% deposit. Yeah, that's real time, straight away.
It's changed.
Has it?
Yeah. Well, usually it's checkbooks back in the day. Yeah. So write a check out, no worries. Here you go. Yeah. Again, it's not many people have checkbooks anymore, so it's usually that day. Yeah. They'll go home, wire it through.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So that's pretty much what's on your PDF, which is very cool. Yeah. I think if you want a copy of that to jump on board and get that. I don't know. Is there anything else really any questions that come
there's
up?
Consumer Affairs have a website. On the Consumer Affairs website, there's a buyer's due diligence checklist, and it goes over those things. Goes over a lot more. Talks about where your fence lines are, and just making sure because it is buyer beware, right? And if you buy a property and you find out 3 days later after it's settled that your fence is in the wrong spot, it's the buyer beware. If you find out that the house is full of termites, but you've settled on the property, there's no coming back. You can't do anything about it. So you've got to do those inspections. You've got to do a final inspection before settlement. So your final inspection is usually a couple of days before settlement. It's not about the cleanliness. It's nothing like that. It's about making sure that
things are working.
Things are working, but also that should be found out at the start of the contract. But it's more so making sure that the house is in the same condition as what it was structurally. So say if the tree's fallen through the roof and they settle on it, well, again, no coming back. So you want to make sure that it's in the same condition as what it was when you viewed the home at that very first open. So making sure you know what you're getting. Second inspections are, I think, vital. some people get excited. You know, I'll always offer the buyer the opportunity before they make an offer, have another look. You know, so you just need to be aware that you're parting with a lot of money. So make sure that you know what you're getting.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really good point. Actually, it's not about cleanliness; it's just structural.
Well, typically your vendor's moving out 2 days before settlement. I've said before it's important for the vendor to clean the house for the buyer,
yes,
which it is. But that's not what at final inspection. It is purely about coming in and going, okay, this is what it was when I bought it. There's no holes in the roof. There's nothing structural that I need. And if there was, you go to your solicitor and say, okay, we've got an issue. There's a big hole in the roof that wasn't there when we bought it. What do we do? They will delay settlement. If it's not in that same condition as what it was when they bought it, then that's kind of how it works.
So what are some of the things that is happening now where things are like it's falling down, the sales falling through?
Finance.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just delays in that process with finance is usually the issue. Again, pre-approval doesn't mean everything at the moment. We've had one fall over recently. But, you know, it's important that you've got backup buyers. It's always talk about big campaigns of making sure that you've got lots of offers. And then you can go straight back to that buyer. I think I had 4 fall over in March, and I sold them all again within at the most was a week. Yeah, okay. Most of them were the next day or within a couple of days. So that's the power of having, you know, lots of buyers to work with. Yes. Or buyers that have potentially missed out. You know, there is always the opportunity for that phone call to say, hey, for whatever reason, the finance has fallen over. You're in kind of thing. It's second chance. That's it, exactly. I think if you're really like stressing about it or it's getting a little bit overwhelming, go and see a financial advisor or a broker. Or a broker. There's so many good brokers around.
Matt Valeri, that was
guys at MFL. There's some great brokers out there. Synergia Home Loans, Aussie Home Loans. There's heaps out there that will work with you. Jess from Smartline, Jess Ricks has just started Smartline in Deakin Avenue. We're working on a few together at the moment. You know, so they're there to help. They're there to put you in the right direction. Or if you've got someone like, you know, Zena at the ANZ, you know, there's guys there's actual bank managers that work within the bank that you want to go through that, you know, you can go to them and speak to them directly. So, there's so many opportunities to talk to different people, get different advice, make sure you're going through the right bank. Like I sold a house to a guy on Thursday and he goes, I've got everything sorted. I just don't know which way I'm going yet. Well, that's cool. Like he's done his homework. He knows he's got the choice of 2 banks that he thinks that his brokers said, here's the best rate. You know, so it'll depend on, there's so many different, you know, you might have an offset account in your bank where you can put money in, but you can grab out and it reduces your interest. So there's so many different things you can do to, get the best value for your money, and going and getting that right advice from someone in the right industry is absolutely worth it. That's it.
Awesome stuff. Well, get on it, guys. If you're thinking about property, get on it. You know, as Mark mentioned before, everything's going like hotcakes. Yeah. Craziness. Yeah. So it might take some time, but if you get onto it early,
it's nothing better than that phone call. It is like another one I sold on Thursday. I asked him. I said, "Which one's this?" He goes, "Oh, hang on," and he counted. It was his 7th property. He'd made offers on 6 properties that he'd missed out on. This was his 7th. Oh wow. And that's what's happening at the moment. Yeah. So, but you know, you've just got to get yourself out there. Knowledge is power, and making sure you've got all the information so you can make a really short, sharp, quick decision, knowing it's the right one for you.
Excellent, love that. And you have an open inspection tonight.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
So, 43 Ballard Avenue, Nichols Point.
Brand new one.
We've had over 400 comments on that property since it went live on Thursday.
It's a great property.
Social media, I'm telling you.
I know. If you're not on it with your real estate.
Yeah. It's so I don't know what the most was prior to that. It's probably 200. So, you know, just a crazy amount of engagement. It's engaged probably 50,000 people, just video and photos. Wow. It's an incredible amount. So there should be a couple 100 people there tonight.
That'll be good.
It probably won't be. But, you know, that's the thing. You just don't know. I've had heaps of calls today. I had calls over the weekend. It's a bit rude. No, but I had plenty of inquiries on it. they're given their best shot to get the best price. Simple as that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Great high-end, top-end property, beautiful home,
Yeah.
massive shed. So that'll be an interesting one for tonight.
I know.
Looking forward to it.
Really, really cool. It's exciting. All right, guys, have you got anything else to add?
No, you?
No. I'm
What are you
still
up to
getting
this
over
week?
Easter. I had a big Easter. It was great.
Yeah.
It was really good. But this week, more online stuff with my, with my coaching, and just catching up, really.
Well, so Ballard Avenue you styled.
Yes, I did.
And
yep.
then the week before that, we did Acacia.
Yes.
We sold over the top of the range first week.
Yep, Benetook Avenue.
And Benetook Avenue was over the top of the range
Yep.
first week.
And then on Saturday, that's amazing, by the way. Like both of them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Big prices.
And the next weekend, we're moving into another one for you, which is
are.
a beautiful property.
That'll be nice.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's plenty on.
Yeah, it's plenty on. It's all happening. All right.
Good time to be alive.
It is.
All right, guys. On that cheesy note.
He's coming up with the goods today.
Yeah, watch
all right.
out.
Have an amazing week wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Next time we're going to be not sideways.
Yeah, I know. We'll work that out. It's just temperamental, isn't it? But anyway, we do all right. Have a great day, guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.